The auto industry is undergoing a monumental shift, one that's causing both excitement and concern. You've probably heard the buzz about electric vehicles, EVs, taking over. Big names like Tesla, Ford, and General Motors are all in the race, with every major automaker making ambitious plans to go electric in the coming years. But here's the big question: is electrification really killing the auto industry, or is it simply the next natural evolution of an industry that's been evolving for over a century? As the world moves away from gasoline-powered engines, the shift to electric vehicles, EVs, is no longer a distant dream. But with every change comes disruption, and the road to the electric future is anything but smooth. While many see it as the key to a cleaner, greener future, others are raising red flags, warning that it could threaten jobs, increase costs, and change the way we drive in ways we never expected. So, let's dive into the drama of electrification and explore how it's shaking up one of the world's most important industries. Buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride. The electric revolution, a new beginning? For decades, the automobile has been a symbol of freedom and personal mobility. The hum of an engine, the roar of a car on the open road, these are things that have defined the driving experience. But times are changing, and the industry is under pressure to transform. Climate change, rising fuel costs, and environmental concerns are pushing for a shift to cleaner, more sustainable alternatives. Enter electric vehicles. EVs aren't new. In fact, the first electric cars were built in the late 19th century. But it's only in recent years that technology and demand have converged to make them a viable alternative to traditional gas-powered cars. The rise of companies like Tesla has given electric vehicles mainstream appeal, while governments around the world have offered incentives, tax breaks, and tighter environmental regulations to make EVs a more attractive option. For automakers, electrification means embracing a new era. Instead of internal combustion engines, ICE, they're now focusing on batteries and electric motors. From the Chevy Bolt to the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the industry is seeing a surge of new electric models. And while some might argue it's a necessary step for the planet's future, the transition isn't all smooth sailing. The challenges facing electrification. Sure, electric vehicles are cool, but they come with their own set of unique challenges, and not all of them are easy to overcome. 1. The price tag. Are EVs too expensive? Let's be real, EVs aren't exactly cheap. While prices have come down in recent years, the majority of electric cars are still much more expensive than their gasoline counterparts. This can be a barrier for the average consumer. A Tesla Model 3 or Ford Mustang Mach-E might be a dream car for some, but they're still priced well above the average sedan. Plus, while tax incentives help, the initial sticker price can still make it feel like EVs are only for the wealthy. The concern is that until electric cars become more affordable, they might only be accessible to a certain demographic, leaving out a large portion of the population. 2. The charging conundrum. Where's the power? Another major issue facing the electric car revolution is the charging infrastructure. Right now, charging stations are few and far between, especially in rural areas or smaller towns. Even in cities, finding a charging spot can be a challenge. For many, the idea of being stuck with a dead battery on a long road trip or not having a charging station nearby is a real concern. Charging an EV takes time, much longer than filling up a gas tank. And if you're stuck in an area without a charger, that could be a huge problem. But the thing is, these challenges are not permanent. As demand for electric vehicles increases, so will the infrastructure. More charging stations are being built, and the technology is evolving to make charging faster and more efficient. It's just going to take time. 3. The supply chain squeeze. Are we ready for mass production? One of the biggest roadblocks to electrification is the supply chain. The key component in electric cars is the battery. And right now, the world is facing a massive shortage of materials needed to make those batteries. Lithium, cobalt, nickel. These are the materials that power electric vehicle batteries. But mining them comes with its own set of environmental and ethical challenges. The demand for these materials is skyrocketing, and manufacturers are struggling to keep up. The process of producing enough batteries to meet the global demand for EVs is complex and expensive. And as automakers rush to produce more electric cars, they're running into serious production challenges. Then there's the issue of recycling. What happens when your car battery is no longer good? Currently, recycling processes for electric vehicle batteries are inefficient and costly. This presents another problem in the journey to make EVs more mainstream. 4. Job losses. Is electrification hurting workers? Here's the part where things start to get a little tricky. As automakers shift from internal combustion engines to electric motors, it's no secret that many traditional auto industry jobs are at risk. The shift to electrification requires fewer parts and different skills, which means fewer factory jobs and changes in workforce dynamics. Take auto manufacturing plants that have been dedicated to building internal combustion engines for decades. These jobs are not easily replaced by the growing EV industry, which is more focused on assembling fewer, simpler parts. This creates tension, especially in regions where car manufacturing is a major economic driver. Labor unions are pushing back against what they see as a threat to workers' livelihoods, and there's concern that the shift to electric vehicles could result in mass layoffs across the industry. The debate is intensifying as more workers fear they'll be left behind in the electric future. The environmental impact. Is EVs the answer? At the heart of the electrification movement is the desire to tackle climate change and reduce carbon emissions. And there's no doubt that electric vehicles are a key part of that solution. EVs produce zero emissions at the tailpipe, which makes them cleaner than traditional gas-powered cars. But the truth is a little more complex. While EVs are cleaner on the road, the production of electric cars, specifically their batteries, still generates emissions. Mining for materials like lithium and cobalt can cause significant environmental damage, and manufacturing batteries is energy-intensive. So the question is, are we just shifting the environmental burden from the road to the production process? In many cases, the overall environmental impact of an EV is still lower than that of a gasoline-powered car, especially as more renewable energy sources come online and EV manufacturers improve the efficiency of their production processes. But we can't ignore the environmental trade-offs in the push for electric cars. Is electrification killing the auto industry? So, is electrification killing the auto industry? The answer is complicated. On one hand, the shift to electric vehicles represents the future of the auto industry. It's a necessary step toward a more sustainable and environmentally friendly transportation system. Consumers are demanding cleaner alternatives, and the push for EVs is already creating new markets and opportunities. Tesla's success is proof that there's a demand for electric cars, and legacy automakers are following suit. On the other hand, the transition to electric vehicles comes with growing pains. The industry faces major challenges, from production issues and supply chain problems to job losses and the need for infrastructure development. The shift to electrification isn't just about building cars. It's about reshaping the entire industry. In many ways, the auto industry is evolving, not dying. But like any major disruption, it requires a delicate balance of innovation, investment, and time to get it right. The future of the car industry is likely to be a blend of electric, hybrid, and alternative fuel vehicles. But will electric cars dominate? It's hard to say. What we do know is that the shift is inevitable, and those automakers who are able to embrace it, evolve their business models, and adapt to the changing landscape will be the ones that thrive. The question isn't whether electrification will kill the auto industry. It's whether the industry can adapt fast enough to make sure it doesn't leave too many people behind. The road to an electric future is bumpy, but the journey has only just begun. The auto industry might be changing, but it's far from over.